Let's talk about the South Korean thriller, The Call. The setup is brilliant. You have two women living in the exact same house, but they're separated by 20 long years. Their lives are kind of stuck, until one day, a single phone call connects them. And in doing so, it absolutely shatters the rules of time itself.
So let's just dive right into the deep end, because this is the question the whole movie hangs on. What if you could talk to someone 20 years ago? Would you ask them to fix your biggest mistake, your deepest regret? And more importantly, what would you be willing to pay for it?
All right, so on one end of the line, in 2019, we've got Kim Seo-yeon. She's back in her crumbling childhood home and she is not happy. She blames her sick mother for a fire that killed her father years ago. And on the other end, back in 1999, is Young-sook. She's basically a prisoner in that same house, being tormented by her Shaman stepmother who keeps telling her she has a brutal, atrocious fate. Both of them are completely trapped, just desperate for a way out.
And through this impossible phone connection, this really unlikely friendship starts to form. They bond over how miserable they are, the shared feeling about their mothers, and this deep, burning desire for a totally different life. And when Seo-yeon hears her father's voice on the line for the first time in 2 decades, well, she gets overwhelmed and she makes an absolutely desperate request.
She asks Young-sook to do the one thing that seems impossible, to save her father. She gives her the address, the date, and the one crucial detail: a gas stove was left on. Young-sook, who's just thrilled to have a friend, sneaks out of her prison and decides to meddle with the past that was never supposed to be hers.
So, on November 27th, 1999, Young-sook gets to the house and turns off the gas. That's it, just a simple twist of a knob. But in a story like this, that one tiny action is about to completely rewrite the fabric of reality.
And the result? It is immediate, and it is absolutely staggering. Right before Seo-yeon's eyes, her whole world just reassembles itself. The rundown house morphs into this beautiful, perfect family home. The scars she had on her legs, gone. And then she looks out in the garden, and there he is, her father, alive and well. She got her perfect life, all thanks to a single phone call.
And just like that, we have arrived in timeline 2. Seo-yeon's got her family back, she's happy, her life feels whole. But here's the question, right? What kind of monster did she just set free in the past? A very dangerous debt has just been created, and trust me, it is about to be collected.
So this is where the entire tone of the film just takes a nosedive into horror. Seo-yeon, wanting to do something nice for Young-sook in return, looks her up online. And what she finds is terrifying. An old news article says Young-sook was murdered by her stepmother during some kind of ritual, and it's supposed to happen that very night. She knows she has to call her back and warn her.
And this just completely flips our understanding of the past. It turns out the stepmother wasn't just cruel for the sake of it, she was a shaman who had seen horrible visions of Young-sook's future, a future just soaked in blood and murder. Her rituals weren't just madness, they were her twisted, desperate way of trying to stop a monster before she could get out. But see, now Young-sook is armed with knowledge from the future thanks to Seo-yeon. She's not the victim anymore. When her stepmother comes to kill her, she's ready. She flips the script, grabs the knife, and kills her stepmother instead. She's finally free. And with that one act, she commits her first murder, which kicks off timeline 3. It turns out, Seo-yeon didn't just save some innocent girl from an abusive home. Not at all. Future police files reveal the truth. Young-sook has a documented history of severe mental illness, including antisocial and borderline personality disorders. The shaman's curse was actually a clinical diagnosis. Seo-yeon has just handed a psychopath the ultimate weapon, knowledge of the future. And this is where that fragile friendship completely shatters and turns into a terrifying cat-and-mouse game. Young-sook kills a nice strawberry farmer who stumbles upon her stepmother's body parts in the fridge. When Seo-yeon reads about it in a future police report and finds out Young-sook becomes a serial killer, she's horrified. Young-sook demands that Seo-yeon figure out a way for her to get away with it, but Seo-yeon refuses. And that is a fatal mistake.
This is the absolute horror of the power Young-sook now has. To punish Seo-yeon for saying no, she just rewrites the past. She murders the farmer, and in 2019, he just blips out of existence. When Seo-yeon still refuses to help, Young-sook goes for the throat. She murders Seo-yeon's father, and Seo-yeon asks to watch as he literally dissolves in the thin air right in front of her. She even tortures Seo-yeon's 8-year-old self with boiling water, and the burn scars instantly reappear on her adult skin. Every single act of terror in 1999 becomes an immediate, agonizing reality in 2019.
Okay, so to get what happens next, you have to understand the rules of this twisted game. The connection only goes one way. 1999 can always call 2019, but 2019 can never ever call back to the past. This gives Young-sook, the killer in 1999, all the power. Seo-yeon is just a spectator to her own destruction, forced to watch her world get torn apart every single time that phone rings.
So all of this builds and builds to this one final desperate showdown that's being fought across 2 time periods at the exact same time. You've got Young-sook in 1999 about to murder Seo-yeon's mother, while the adult, never-caught serial killer version of Young-sook from a new timeline, Timeline 6, is hunting Seo-yeon in the present day.
The fight kicks off in the past. Back in 1999, Seo-yeon's mom shows up at the house looking for her family. She realizes almost immediately that something is terribly, terribly wrong, and she ends up in this brutal, life-or-death fight against the young, but completely vicious, Young-sook.
And at the same time, in the present, Seo-yeon is locked in her own deadly battle with the older, more experienced, and even more dangerous version of Young-sook. It is an absolutely incredible sequence. They're both on the phone with each other, with Seo-yeon in the future coaching her mother in the past, all while fighting for her own life. Every punch and stab in 1999 has an echo in 2019.
And for a moment, it looks like it's over. In 1999, Seo-yeon's mother makes the ultimate sacrifice. She tackles Young-sook and they both go plummeting over a second-story railing, crashing to the floor below. The second this happens in the past, the older Young-sook in 2019, who was literally seconds away from killing Seo-yeon, just vanishes into thin air. Her death in the past seems to have completely erased her from the future.
This ushers in Timeline 7, and for a glorious minute, it really feels like a happy ending. Seo-yeon finds her mother at the graveyard, and she's alive. She's scarred from the fight 20 years ago, sure, but she survived. They hug. It feels like this hard-won, bittersweet victory. And you can just feel the relief wash over you. After all that horror, the timelines feel stable. The killer is dead. The family, while damaged, is finally back together. Because the past isn't quite done calling yet.
Okay, here it is, the final brutal twist. In the post-credit scene, we realized there was one last call. In that tiny little window of time, before her mother made that sacrifice, the older Young-sook from Timeline 6 called her younger self. She warned her about everything, the cops, the fight with the mom, and told her, whatever you do, keep that phone on you. Armed with this one last piece of future knowledge, the young Young-sook survives the fall.
And the final outcome is just horrifying. As Seo-yeon is walking with her mom in the graveyard, her mother just flickers and vanishes. The timeline has been rewritten one last time. In this final, definitive reality, Young-sook survived, hunted down and murdered Seo-yeon's mother, and has kept Seo-yeon as a prisoner in her basement for the last 20 years. The killer wins. Game over.
And really, that's what the film leaves you chewing on. It is a chilling, chilling thought. If the past can always revise the present, if there's always the possibility of one more phone call that can change everything, is any moment of happiness, any victory you achieve, ever truly final? Is any future ever really safe?